Howdy, and welcome to this Life Lesson Friday episode of the Confidence to Health podcast. I'm your host, Jerry Snyder. And what I want to talk about today is a little bit about visualization and how that can help you achieve your goals. And I don't want to just talk about visualizing what the goals are, right? But what I talk to a lot of my athletes about and what I do personally is visualizing what happens not just during the event or performance or presentation or whatever it is you're doing, right? Not just visualizing that that is successful in itself, but also visualizing what does it feel like after I'm done? What does it feel like? And I've done this for years. I've done this all the way back to high school, my athletic days in high school, visualizing what does it feel like after I completed a race, after I participated in a game that we won as a team. What does that look like? What does that smell like? What is the noise around me like? What is the environment like? And so much is to personally, one of the things I did in 2024, I raced in Chicago in an indoor meet for USATF Masters. I won the 3000 for my age group. A couple of days before, and I had an injury that turned out to be a major injury afterwards, that I flared up while I was in that race. But before, I knew I was going into it with a slight injury, and I visualized not just the race and how it played out and winning the race and being able to hit the time splits that I wanted throughout the race, but how did it feel afterwards? What did it look like afterwards? And I had this vision in my head of me laying down on the track. Well, sitting down basically, but laying down with like hands behind me, my sitting, my legs are straight out. I'm just propped up and watching the surroundings and looking around and everything. And I had this vision in my head of me doing that on a gray track. I had no idea what color the track was we were going to. I'd not seen pictures of it. I'd not seen anything about it. Never been there before. And then after the race, I didn't realize this till after the race. After the race, my sister sent me a picture because she was there in Chicago. She sent me a picture of me after the race, sitting on the track in that exact position I was in my head and my visualization on a gray track. And that hit me really hard because it tells me how much we can impact how we put our body through things, how much we can impact what we change in our lives. When I was in high school, my sophomore year in high school, I competed at state cross country meet. And I don't remember this specifically, but my mom does. And she would tell you that after that race, I looked at her and said, I'm going to win this race my senior year. And come to find out, I won that race my senior year. Visualization, speaking things into existence, being able to see not just what it's like in the moment, but putting the pieces together of what's it going to feel like afterwards. What does it feel like afterwards? What does it feel like after you find that perfect person? What does it feel like after you find that job? Visualize if you're looking for a job, visualize what does the interview look like? What does the office look like? What is my ideal situation? And then when you go in for an interview and you see, oh, this is the office that I saw myself in, having not known what that office looks like, being in there and going like, oh, this is the exact building. This is exactly what I thought this was going to look like. It gives you more confidence. It gives you an understanding of what you're capable of being able to bring to your life. And a lot of us are going through different things as far as financial or health or relationships, right? And so visualizing what does my life look like? Not just saying like, oh, I'd love to be able to go for a walk without pain. I'd love to be able to go, you know, on a vacation and not have to worry about the financial part of it. Like those are great things to say, but really visualize what what kind of clothes are you going to wear when you lose the weight? What does it look like? Not just like, oh, I'm gonna the same brand, just a different size, right? But no, like what do you look like in those clothes? And visualize that. What do you look like to be a person who can go to the grocery store and buy groceries without having to thinking about the effect it's going to have on your bank account, right? What does it look like walking out of the grocery store, going to your car and feeling like that didn't cost me the other things I wanted to do this week because the price of groceries went up, right? You don't have any, none of us have any control over the price of groceries. And so we go in there some days and it's like, oh, everything went up. And now I just spent $20 more than I was expecting. And so now I can't go do X because that $20 comes out of my gas tank. So I can't afford to drive over to wherever I wanted to go have fun or go pay the entry fee to go to this, event or this bar or whatever it is that you want to go to. What does it feel like to walk out of the grocery store going, that didn't affect me because my financial situation is fine, right? Like, so visualizing the other side of getting to your goal. That's the biggest piece that I'm trying to get across. It's like, what happens on the other side? Not just visualizing yourself getting to the goal and being the person that can do those things. That's hugely important too. Okay, that's a huge piece of the process because if you don't think that you can get there, it's not going to happen. But after you've gotten yourself there in your mind and visualize that, visualize what is it like on the other side? What does it feel like on the other side when you're already that person? And this isn't a fake it till you make it thing. This is a looking at it and saying, this is the person I want to become. This is what I want to see. Because if you get to that point and you go, this is what I want to see, or this is what it looks like, and that's not appealing to you, maybe you need to change your goals, right? Maybe your goals aren't big enough. Maybe your goals are in the wrong area. Maybe you're striving to get something just because you think that's what you want. And then when you get there, it's not what you thought it was going to be, right? Like, and this happens in med school. I hear about this all the time. People go into med school with, I want to be this kind of doctor. And then they get there and they go through all the different, rotations in med school of learning all the different kinds of things. And they go, oh my gosh, I want to change to this. Like, I never knew this was out there. I want to be this kind of doctor and not the one I thought I was going to be when I came in. Um, and so that's somebody who's visualizing, I want to be a doctor, but not visualizing this is what it looks like for me on the other side. And so making sure that you can see what does it look like on the other side? What does that bring to you? And then moving towards those steps, but keeping that as a piece of your visualization process, right? Visualizing yourself achieving the steps along the way to get to your goal, but visualizing what does it feel like, look like, smell like, taste like on the other side once I've already got there. So that's your Life Lesson Friday for this Friday. Hope you'll have a great rest of the day.